Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another installment of Fuse Meets. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to click the subscribe button and follow us across all our social media channels to make sure you stay ahead and also get the links to come and take part in these shows. So today, I am really excited. I've got two guys with me here today. I want you to say hello to Edwin and Jeff. And these guys have come here to talk to us today about the Web3 sneaker marketplace, ZNEAKRZ. How you doing today, guys? You good?
Great.
Yep, good.
Good, man. Nice to see you. You'll be also pleased to hear I haven't woken these gentlemen up too early like we do on some of these shows. Sometimes it's like 5 a.m. for our guests because they're on the other side of the world, but it's all right for these guys today. So let's kick off gently, guys. I really want to kind of get an idea of who it is I'm sitting with today, who I'm talking to. And I think it's very important that people in the community get to understand the people behind the project. It's one of the main reasons we do this. So can we start off? Just tell us a little bit about yourself, gents. What's your passions? How did you get into this world? And why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I can start. So I first got into sneakers back in high school. Back then, the foam posits were the popular shoes that everyone wanted to get, and the ones I wanted to get as well. So I remember getting my first job and finally being able to get them. And since my mom, she didn't really want to buy shoes that were over $200 since she thought it was a waste of money. So then slowly I got into reselling sneakers as a side thing, and then eventually got a lot more involved into it. And I also have a background in sneaker botting, pretty much building and selling bots to acquire sneakers at release. And I've also been buying and selling sneakers for a little over 10 years now.
Nice.
Then the last thing is I also have over 6 years of experience in the startup world, pretty much growing startups both organically and paid.
That's awesome, man. That's a pretty cool journey. I can definitely tell you that my mum is the same as yours and didn't want to spend $200 on sneakers either, man. So you're not alone there for sure, definitely. All right, thanks, Edwin. Jeff?
Yeah, I think this project with sneakers, I found it really interesting. And I've always been interested in innovation and how innovation can benefit society. And I think sneakers really aligns with those values. From a career standpoint, I have 2 decades in technology commercialization and integration. And that's really been everything from industrial projects to NASA and DARPA projects to working with, Fortune 50s and startups. From the sneakers standpoint, I just, I'm not as deep into it as Edwin, but I definitely have some favorites. I mean, lately I have a pair of trail running sneakers that I love the look and performance. So it's more performance-based, sport-based sneakers.
But still, though, that just a different kind of passion, isn't it, really, Jeff, in there as well? But the two of you combined, that sounds like a really good team. You've got the experience spread across the breadth there, so that's really great. All right, thanks, gents. Thank you for doing that. I think it's one of the most important things. So with that, we know who we're talking to. So let's just quickly kick off. I just want to let people know. So why are we doing Fuse Meets with sneakers? So we're really happy to announce that the ecosystem has been expanded with sneakers and that it's a very user-centric Web3 sneaker marketplace. So we really want to dive into how it's powered by the Fuse Wallet SDK, and that and we've got a whole bunch of questions we're going to run through, guys. So basically what I'd like to do is we're going to jump into these questions. We'll keep it concise, and then towards the end, what we're going to do, we're going to pull up the app and we're going to just show people how it works, because I think that's the best thing to do, right? And just to mention right at the start, the app is available in the US through the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It will be becoming available later on other platforms, but at the moment, US. So keep that in mind, guys, if you want to make a download, all right? Okay, so loads of questions. Let's dive in. First question, guys. Can you explain, obviously, this is a Fuse Network podcast, can you explain to the audience how ZNEAKRZ is leveraging, utilizing the Fuse Network and the Fuse Wallet Mobile SDK to provide the service that you guys are providing? Tell us a bit more.
Yeah, so our system relies on Fuse for hosting the platform's user wallets, and the token associated with the platform. the token for making purchases on the app. And it also serves as the infrastructure for managing transactions involving either wallet. So a transaction, our marketplace would be tokens from one wallet to the other.
So the app is basically running on Fuse network, just for the guys out there to get their heads around this. The app is running on the Fuse network. The token mint has been minted on Fuse. And at this stage, the app is still in, it's out, but you guys have still got development underway, and there's certain sections that are live and certain ones that aren't. And we'll dive into that as well in a second. So, all right, cool. So we got past the Fuse bit. So I've got to ask you, like, this is quite a specific platform, and you guys outlined some of your background previously. What motivated you guys with this? Why did you want to create ZNEAKRZ? And obviously, how does that fit into like what Fuse is doing and how the Fuse ecosystem is growing?
Yeah, so I think the digital space is kind of interesting, that link between digital and physical. And so when we talk about the physical side of things, that's related to the market, right? The sneaker market. And we're starting off, the focus of the app, we're starting off really with the sneaker market. And what is the current situation is that there's often a lot of frustration from users. So there's predatory resellers with, fueling high prices. There's marketplaces with high fees. And there's platforms that are built more either for buyers or sellers, but not necessarily both. So I think Edwin, he initially had this really great vision, which is develop a place for both buying, selling, and trading with a focus on low to no fees. So that means that it's a platform for buyers and sellers, equity and fairness. So getting sneakers below retail price and ensuring that it's beginner friendly. Because even if you're tech focused, I mean, learning how to get into, different platforms and make deals with people to get exclusive shoes, it's often difficult to do. So Fuse, like how that fits really is because Fuse, they're looking to simplify Web3 payments and have a fast, low-cost platform. So Fuse is really one part of our solution at ZNEAKRZ to offer low to no fees for buying, selling, and trading sneakers.
Yeah, nice. And that's the crux of it, isn't it? That's what you want to do. And I think in terms of the sort of user onboarding and the usability of the application as well, and it needs to be intuitive, right? You don't want to be developing one of these Web3 applications where you need to go back to university to learn how to use it, right? It needs to be very intuitive and it needs to work nicely. So that's kind of something that's available on Fuse as well. It lends itself to that. All right, cool. Okay, I want to go into, you guys have a token, right? So could you elaborate on the role of the token within the kind of community and the ecosystem of the app? And also, how can users get involved with that? And like, how can they get that token? And is it for speculative investment or is it for use within the application to make purchases and transactions?
Yeah, so the native token is not really a investment token since it's pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar. But for any transaction within the app, you'll be required to use our ZNEAKRZ token. So it's a pretty crucial element in maintaining the low fees that we promise. The token is pegged 1-to-1 to the US dollar, so it's pretty easy for everyone to track their funds.
A stable coin.
Yeah, stable coin. Yeah, and then we also made buying the tokens pretty easy. You can use debit and credit card, and we'll also be adding more payment options in the future. Reason we did that is just so not just the Web3 audience is familiar with like buying the tokens, so we let pretty much everyone be able to buy tokens pretty easily. Yep.
So it's the transaction token. So it's pegged 1-to-1 with the US dollar. So if you want to make a transaction inside the app, you just convert your dollars over to the ZNEAKRZ token, and then you can start to transact in the app, right?
Yep, exactly. So,
cool.
You can also see it as like adding money into your wallet.
Yeah, there's similar platforms. Like I remember using a platform called VV, where if you wanted to make purchases, you basically had to top up to a currency within the app. And it makes perfect sense to me. It's quite similar to other apps as well. So again, that's quite intuitive within the app as well. Perhaps the difference is the stable coin side of it, right? Like Jeff, you mentioned there, which is very important. Something you can do on Fuse. You can mint and launch stable coins, which makes it very easy for people to transact, right? And understand the amount of money they're playing with as well. Okay, I want to talk about like differentiation. You guys mentioned some other platforms, and people know about platforms like eBay. That's probably the biggest one, but not particularly for sneakers, but it is a platform for resale, right? How does ZNEAKRZ differentiate itself from other sneaker marketplaces? StockX is another one as well, isn't it? And we spoke about low fees, but how in regards to fees and fairness, right? Because that's what you guys are trying to do. You want it to be a better marketplace.
Yeah, so these marketplaces like StockX, eBay, those are the most popular ones. They generate their revenue through transaction fees. So as the value of a sneaker goes up, these marketplaces, they benefit from the higher transaction fees, which is at odds with the sneaker enthusiasts that's looking to get sneakers at a reasonable price. So this kind of incentivizes the marketplaces to support the markup in sneaker prices.
Yeah, so they become sort of, it's in their interest to not get in the way of that, right? They're making more from that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So our approach is different. So we don't rely on transaction fees. And by eliminating our reliance on transaction fees, we prioritize a more equitable and user-friendly experience. So another thing to mention is that most marketplaces cater to either the buyer or seller. So if you were to ask somebody what their favorite marketplace is, it'd be different based on which side they're on, either the buyer or seller. So, for example, I'll say if I'm a seller, I might like to, I might say like eBay is my favorite platform since they have more favorable fees and have more options for sellers. But if you're a buyer, you might like Poison better since they don't charge any fees and they give the fees to the sellers. So yeah, when we created sneakers, we kept both in mind, both the buyer and seller in mind. So we have benefits for both sides. So pretty much we give users all the tools that they need to make sneaker transactions, and combine. I think these gives sneakers a pretty good advantage over traditional marketplaces like StockX, eBay, and Go.
Well, it's very convenient and cool, isn't it, to be able to do everything in one place? And I think everybody is about convenience these days, right? They want to access all the services they want in one place. So that seems to make perfect sense to me. It's not something I realized actually there was such a difference between the buyer and the seller side. Like, is that something that's, how big of a problem is that, guys? Like this kind of sniping and bots, and what are we talking about here? Like, how much over are people paying? Just as a sort of throw-in question.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the sneaker, how hyped the sneaker is. Like say for example, if it's like a Travis Scott sneaker, obviously it's gonna be sold out within seconds. So when it comes to sneakers like that, you're probably not gonna get them at release. You probably have to either pay resale, which is like sometimes 5 times over, especially for like a Travis Scott release. So
wow,
yeah, so it's a pretty big issue, I'd say, in the sneaker world. But
go on, Jeff. Sorry.
But to highlight something that Edwin said, is that really if the revenue model of the platform is, to get the percentage of whatever that sneaker is sold, that means they're incentivized really to have higher priced, like it benefits them if sneaker prices go up and up and up.
Sure.
And so, they don't have any incentive to get, sneakers, to allow people to get sneakers at a more reasonable price. For them, if a sneaker double, triples, quadruples in price, that means it's more revenue for them, right? Oh. So because we don't have that business model, that was the idea of the company, right?
And also builds it's good for the original company like Nike and Jordan because it builds hype for their products. So I think like everyone likes the markup except for like the consumer.
When something's not available so easily, it's more exclusive, isn't it? So I guess that's part of it. But I would also sort of question I would also kind of say, like, who's getting their hands on these sneakers is not the people that they're intended for naturally, is it? Like Edwin, like when you were saying you were younger, you're trying to get these sneakers and you've got these people coming in just buying up the whole shelf to go and resell them. And that must also have something to do with this, guys. Like from an ethical standpoint, the fairness part of it. For me, that sucks. Like that's not. I'm sure Nike's not that bothered about it, but you know what I mean. From an ethical standpoint, do you with that? Like you think that's part of the mission here to make sure that people have got access to the sneakers they want to get?
Yeah. So, yeah, we obviously want to help with that issue, but I think this is like a issue that's gonna take a long time to fix. But yeah, hopefully we could contribute to hopefully fixing that one day. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man, early days. All right, cool. So at the moment we've got drops and the auction section is live, right, on the app. So can you provide a bit more info about kind of the opportunities for users, and because they can acquire sneakers at or below retail price? So just tell us more about this and about those two live sections.
Yeah, so the auction isn't live yet. It's still being worked on, but it'll be live soon. And the drops is live right now on the app. So for the drop section, we at ZNEAKRZ release sneakers at bulk randomly each month, and the users that are subscribed, they get access to purchasing those sneakers at retail price.
Nice.
And then the auction section, which is still in development, is being made so that the users are able to get sneakers below retail price. So we designed our auction system to pretty much make sure that they get the sneakers at below retail price. So we kind of do it differently than like eBay does it.
Yeah, like it's all about just maxing the price out, right? Like it's about fairness of price as well.
Yeah. So and also another thing is that these two features are something that you won't find elsewhere. Like the closest thing you'll probably find is like a cook group that helps you kind of source sneakers, but to actually sell the sneakers at retail and even below retail, I don't think you'll find that. I know you won't find that.
You know you won't. Yeah, I was watching one of your YouTube shorts earlier as well, and I saw there's a service there where you can request a sneaker, which we'll get into when we pull the app up in a bit. But I thought that was super cool. You know, the guy's going through the process, and he's pretty blown away, I think, by the fact that he can actually do that. Like he's super happy. So we'll jump into that in a sec. All right, cool. There's another service that you guys offer, and it might sound a bit strange to some people, but I just want to dive into it. Sneaker escrow. So, like, why is that a good solution, and why have you put that into the app? Like, it's obviously going to be safe, but tell us a bit more about sneaker escrow. Very interesting idea here.
Yeah, so escrow, it's been around for a long time in other communities and other areas. Typically, like, what does it mean? It's protection for the buyer, and it eliminates bad behavior from sellers. So on other platforms, there's been occasions where there's bad behavior. So that can be anything from, you receive a brick in the mail. It's not, it weighs the same, but when you open the package, it's a brick or something of a similar weight. There's also on other platforms or on other occasions where people have, let's say, increased, done a lot of good deals and then increase their reputation. And then once they have a good reputation, then bad behavior comes out. Wow. And so the idea of escrow is really that in any deal between two partners, escrow ensures that the buyer's money doesn't get released to the seller until everything is confirmed and authorized. So often in other places on this online market space is that they consider the deal done when the product is sent out, right? Yeah. And there's been an increase in these private transactions, especially on Instagram, Discord, and other places, where you're basing it off the reputation of the seller, like I was mentioning earlier, and you're just, hoping, faith, really, right? So the current solutions are kind of expensive. They don't guarantee that your items are authentic as well. So that's why we at ZNEAKRZ, we created this escrow service. It's called Private Sale by ZNEAKRZ. And we're basically holding on to the buyer's funds until we're sure the product is present, but also more importantly, that it's authenticated.
Yeah. So the authentication part of this is also really important. There's fake sneakers flying around everywhere, right? So it also ensures that. How are you dealing with that? So the buyer's funds are protected, until the moment when everything is authenticated? And just walk us through that a little bit, Jeff.
Yeah, so I think all sneaker transactions are authenticated by our authentication team. And this is actually pretty complicated because often, I come from traditional manufacturing, and we often used like a lot of equipment to ensure, color was consistent, size was consistent, every details is consistent. And often on a Nike production line, for example, there can be variations even within literally the Nike production line.
Sure.
So you really need an authentication team to know what is normal production variation at Nike or some other company versus like what is a counterfeit product.
Yeah. Wow.
So we have authentication teams at ZNEAKRZ.
That's I was watching some videos a while ago where they take the sneakers in to get authenticated, and one of the first things he does is like he taps the base of the shoe, and I'm like, what? Surely that's not the best way, but that was like the telltale sign for this particular shoe.
It's really interesting because like I started off my career in using lasers and robotics and computer vision and AI for everything from production lines and things like that. And cars, I mean, they have to make sure that everything has fit and finish. And so on consumer goods, you don't always have like the same color red. There can be variations in the red, right? And so how do you know that's really it's a real product versus natural variation? And I think you really need an authentication team and some experts to know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important. I think the escrow service sounds amazing. And like you said, there is a massive rise in people sort of doing P2P transactions these days where they want to cut out the middleman. But like you say, you buy gold and you get a brick in the post. It's not great, is it? So that's awesome, man. That's really, really, that sounds like a great addition to the service as well. All right, cool. Thanks for that. You guys also have a subscription sort of model that you have in place at the moment, right? What benefits does subscribing offer? Like, how does it enhance the experience for the users? Does it help people get sneakers that other people can't get?
Yeah. So just to make it clear, you don't need to subscribe to use our platform. Subscribing just gives you expanded benefits. But yeah, so the benefits for the seller, you get no fees on every sale. So you keep all the proceeds from each sale that you make. For the buyer, you get lower fees. So you get charged 3% for every transaction. Then we have the drop section where you can get sneakers at retail price. And then there's also other features we're working on, like the auction section where you'll be able to get sneakers below retail.
Nice.
And then also getting free auction tokens each month for you to bid on these sneakers. And then also we're working on giving people free authentication checks each month. So if you need to check if your sneakers are real or not, you can do it for free if you're subscribed. And we're also planning on adding more things in the future just to make that subscription more worth it.
All right, cool. So you don't have to subscribe, but you can. And if you do, you get some added benefits there as well. Really nice. And obviously growing benefits and different features coming. All right, very cool. So you guys make sure you listen to that correctly. You don't have to subscribe, but you can. All right. So this isn't a subscription model only. You can go in there and start using the platform without any of that.
Yeah, you can buy, trade, and sell without having to subscribe. Yeah.
Amazing. All right, cool, man. So people can jump in, test it out, have a go, see what they think about it, all for free. All right, awesome, man. Okay, so I mean, this is a Web3 product in a Web2 world, I would say, right? Like the kind of there is an alignment here, I think, with the demographics of sneakerheads that I saw, and the crypto and blockchain crowd. Is that something you guys are leaning on, or are you just like Web3 is the way to deliver this project, and I think this is the best way to do it? Like, I suppose the question is, are you planning to engage only with crypto audiences, or is this just for everybody? Because I feel like it's for everybody, right?
Yeah, I think initially when we were talking about launching this, we wanted to be, I think, a bit more crypto front and center. But actually now we're not kind of pushing we're not kind of pushing that aspect of the project as much, because this way it allows everybody. If somebody wants to know more about how crypto is powering our platform and how we're able to leverage that, we're happy to be transparent about it. But for those people that just want to buy and sell, they don't want to like get deeply involved in understanding that aspect, they can use it just like, you know, some other easy to use tool, even like, you know, Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatnot. You don't have to be tech savvy. So that's really the idea, is that for the individual, you don't need, you know, cook groups and Discord channels and automated bots and headaches and things like that, or deal with the high cost of resellers. So we simplify it for you, whether you're tech savvy and just don't want to deal with all that stuff or not. So we're saving you time, money, and headaches, basically. And also the risk as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really smart point that you make as well, right? Like you want to go after a mass audience. And if you start discussing about blockchain architecture and block times and stable coins and self-custody, it all becomes quite complex for people, doesn't it? And there isn't actually a necessity for most people to know about these things, I think, as well. A lot of talk about...
Yeah, the Fuse team has been great in supporting us. And they're definitely part of what's powering our system, but we're not putting that necessarily front and center.
No, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier, I've been working with dApps for a long time. And I think the ambition of a lot of dApps years ago was to really push that blockchain side, you know, decentralization, ownership, those kind of things. And I think overall, people are a little bit still confused about those things, right? And they don't want to... People are a little bit scared of what they don't understand, I think. So this is great that it looks very intuitive. And we're going to pull up the app in a minute so people can see literally how it looks like any other application on their phone as well. So last question, guys. So we're here now. The app is out. It's in the US. You've got more features to add. How do you see this developing for you guys as a team, as a product? What are you planning over 2024? And like, where's it going? What's the plans for you guys this year?
Yeah, so our vision is pretty much to establish sneakers as the best marketplace for buying and selling sneakers. We have features already that make us better than like more traditional marketplaces like StockX and eBay. So looking ahead, we plan on further widening that gap to make us stand out more in the market. So we want to aim to continually enhance the platform with features and benefits, and also taking feedback from the community, just so we can make the app better for the users. A good example, we recently added a bulk buying feature, just because some of the users wanted to have that option, because no other marketplace has that option right now. So we added that for them. So yeah, we're always like looking at what the users are saying and adding things that they want, if it makes sense. So yeah,
that's
so we just
nice. Like you can actually react as well, right? Like a company like StockX or eBay potentially can't just react like that to consumer feedback, or probably maybe doesn't want to either. But just the fact that you said that, like batch ordering is something that people want, you're able to deliver, like that's going to be quite a game changer as well for you guys to be able to move fast, right? And iterate these things quickly, I think is really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice, man. Jeff, anything on the future of sneakers you want to add there before we dive into the app and kind of pull it up and show people?
No, let's get to the
juice. Here we go.
Yeah,
all right,
so
I'm just gonna shut up for the time being. You guys do what you want to do. Lead people through the app. Show them what it is. So how to basically navigate your way through it. And yeah, show people what you want to show them on the app.
Yeah, so you can browse through the app without signing up. Like you can go into the marketplace and look at what we have without needing to sign up. But once you've signed up, you'll get your own wallet attached to your account. So in order to make purchases on the app, you would need to first buy some sneakers token. So just go through here, you enter the amount of tokens that you want. Once you go through here, then you can hit confirm. and then pay with card, and then it'll take you to Stripe, and there is where you can make your
and this
purchase
is all live. It's all live on Android. So whether you have an Apple or Android, you can download this now and use it in the US. And we're looking to expand outside of America in the future. But right now, yeah, it works. It's up and running.
Yeah, and then once you've added tokens, you can go look at what we have available. Say this one. And then you could either buy now or make an offer. Make an offer is where you could buy in bulk from one seller. So you can make an offer on multiple shoes for one seller, or you can just buy the sneaker straight up for the price that he listed. And you can also make an offer below what they're asking, or you can also add trade and money, or there's a bunch of different things that you can do here.
Nice, man. That's pretty cool. You can literally like go to those sellers that have got a few pairs that you like. And now I see that more clearly, how you can, like, you're making a deal, right? Rather than going separately after each pair. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then for the seller, once you've got your transaction confirmed and you've received your money, then you can come over here and withdraw. And then you'll have to add your bank details, and then you can withdraw the funds. So yeah, we made it pretty easy to understand, even if you're not into the whole sneaker space. So yeah, that's pretty much like a high level of the app. I could also show the drop section.
Yeah.
This is something you need to subscribe for, but right now, this is the one that hasn't been sold out. We're doing another one pretty soon. And then you just choose from the sizes available, and then pretty much check out the sneaker like that.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. The way you kind of pop it in the box. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah, and also you can also come over here, and if something's sold out, you can request an item.
Yeah.
And we'll scour the internet and get back to you with a quote within 72 hours. And it'll also be like the lowest quote we can find on the internet. So
wow.
Yeah,
so that's like having a personal sneaker shopper like at your disposable. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sick.
yeah, that's pretty much what we have out right now. There's a bunch of other things that you can do. You just gotta explore the app. But yeah, those are the main functions.
Nice, man. So as you can see, like for the people that are watching and are watching onto this, you can see like we talk about Web3 apps, and I asked the question, is it for Web2 users? I mean, you can see this app looks totally intuitive, totally like something you would already be using. This is very, very cool. So you go in, you sign up with your wallet, you get your wallet loaded, and then you can start shopping, right? And drops is for subscribers. Is that right, Edwin? That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would have to subscribe to get access to the drops, and just to make it clear, once you create an account, a wallet is attached to your account. So you don't have to do anything complicated.
So once you log in so how do you set up your account when you first time user? Do you have like social logins, or can I start an account with
Yeah, so you can use Google or Apple sign in, or you can just use your email.
And that's where we're talking about like going a bit blockchain, full account abstraction, wallet creation in the background, where the user gets their own wallet, but they don't even really have to do anything. I mean, for people involved in Web3 for the last 7 years, this is quite phenomenal, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you compare it to what people might have to do. So, I mean, this is really also showcasing Fuse and what it's capable and what sort of products you can build on Fuse as well. So it's great. Sorry, Edwin.
There's not a lot of companies in the phygital space, actually. So we're pretty unique.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything is done in the background. So the user doesn't really have to do anything. Or like if you look at the app right now, you barely can tell that it's like a Web3 app. Yeah. Everything is in the background. And I think that's how it should be. Like a lot of people don't really care how the app is built or what it's built on. Like,
no, they just want sneakers, man, right? Like that's just like it's like a cash machine. You don't really care how it works. You just want the money to come out of it, right? Like it's the same. And that's the thing with this kind of mass adoption of blockchain. I hear people discussing all the time. I think the minute that people stop talking about blockchain is the minute we may have achieved mass adoption, because that's when these apps become truly usable and nobody's thinking about the underlying tech, which they really don't need to, right?
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about the app, and was talking to them about why we don't say we're a Web3 company. And I think it's like a lot of companies say, oh, we're a Web3 blockchain-based platform, but like the user doesn't really care about that. It's kind of like saying we're a Ruby on Rails app. Like you don't really need to tell about the technology behind the app to the user, because they don't really care about that unless like
they just want to see that it's lower fees, right? I mean, that's the important part, because it adds up. I mean, you trade a couple of sneakers, you buy a couple of sneakers, and these fees adds up.
That's it, man. Yeah, you're totally right, guys. Like that's what people care about. They care about the fact that they're able to do what they were doing anyway in a really convenient way and saving money. And if they want to sell, they're getting less taken away from them. All benefits for buyers.
It's lower cost, safe, and secure. So we're ensuring that we're reducing the cost with the fees with blockchain. We're ensuring that it's safe and secure with our authentication, and we're making it easier to use, basically.
And just for someone who doesn't know, maybe, I mean, you can, as a question, what is the sneakers market? What is the industry worth, guys? Like as someone who's not too savvy on the sneaker industry and thinks about people buying trainers because they need them, what kind of markets are we discussing here? What are the figures involved with sneakers?
Yeah, so in the US, it's projected to be worth 30 billion as of 2030.
That's just the resale, just to clarify. We're not talking about, we're talking about the resale market specifically.
Resale, got it, okay.
Yeah, and there was also a survey they did of sneaker enthusiasts and resellers and buyers, and they found, so they surveyed, I think it was 3,500 of those people, and they found that they spend anywhere around $500 to $1,000 on sneakers each month. So yeah, people do spend a lot of money on this, and it's a growing industry. So
it's like what people allocate to like investments, I guess, isn't it? And I guess some of this is that with sneakers, right? These are limited edition things. These are things that people, Edwin, I imagine you've still got some sneakers in boxes that you never wore, right? Like, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, what a lot of people don't realize is like a lot of these cultural things, these cultural phenomena are global. So, I mean, people are buying these things in China, in Africa, in South America, all over the place. So the sneaker resale market is actually huge. Like Edwin said, billions of dollars. And that's above and beyond what, you know, what the regular market is, right?
Yeah.
For first time buys.
And like, also, you just mentioned something very important there, Jeff, as well. The global scale of an app like sneakers, it can be truly global. You can have people trading sneakers from China over to the US. And this isn't something that's also, it's kind of possible at the moment, but it's quite fractured and fragmented, right? Like this could be a great way to pull it all together.
So that's why we're starting in America, in US initially, because we want to ensure that it's safe and secure and that we have the authentication team there. We have authenticators in other countries, but we want to make sure that we're doing it step from step. So for those people outside of United States, like I'm in Canada, you know, it's just going to be, you know, a phase.
And for the sneaker part, there's a lot of like ways to find like these solutions, but you would have to go from platform to platform to platform to do all these things. Like if you want to trade sneakers, you probably go to a trade block. If you want to sell your sneakers instantly, then you can go to StockX or Go. If you have a little bit more time, then you can go to eBay and get offers there. If you want to buy sneakers at the cheapest price, then you go to StockX. If you want to save on fees, then you go to Poison. So putting all this into one product is what we're trying to do, and make it the best. Is what we're trying to do, and we know it's going to be a long, hard road to compete with like some of these huge companies that are backed by like a lot of money and hard to compete with and already established. and we have to kind of make sure that we put ourselves in a place where we are an authentic and trustworthy platform to the sneaker enthusiasts. I think that's the goal right now.
Absolutely, and I think it's good to acknowledge the fact that it's not it's a marathon almost, and it's not a sprint, right? And this is you guys are just at the beginning of the journey, so that's why we wanted to do this show. That's why I wanted to speak to you guys to get my head around everything in a better way and to let the community understand, because this is quite a different app for Fuse, right? Like Fuse has not had an app like this in the past. And this is something really cool, I think, that appeals to a totally different audience to what we've been going for in the past. So like I said at the start, I'm super excited about it. As soon as I am able to use it, I'm going to be getting in there and buying loads of sneakers. You guys are going to be responsible for so much spending on my part. Oh, thank you for that, gentlemen. All right, cool. So we've done all the questions, and I think we've shown the app in the best light we can. And basically, I just want to give you guys the opportunity to do some final shouts and social media stuff as well. I've got a link here where people can get at you. But I think as this video is also available for a long time, so if anybody wants to ask any questions, they can reach out. So guys, these are the main handles here, but yeah, like tell people how they can reach to you, what kind of stuff you want to hear about. Like you mentioned about people that have suggestions about the app. Tell people how they can get in touch with you, gentlemen.
Yeah, so if you're interested in our project and or potentially investing in our token drop, then go follow us on Twitter at ZNEAKRZ. And you can also follow us on IG and TikTok at ZNEAKRZ app. We'll also be doing some free giveaways soon, so make sure to follow. And yeah, go download the app. It's currently live in the US for both Apple and the Play Store. So yeah.
Nice, man. Download it, try it, see what you think. Feedback, as always, is welcome. Jeff, anything to add at the end here?
No, that's basically it. I think we have a really interesting technology roadmap in terms of products and services that are going to be coming out. So yeah, I would say follow us, and you'll be seeing what's coming out.
Nice, man. All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much, and thank you for showcasing the app as well. So, as we said at the beginning, there's more coming for the app. So, follow these guys on socials and stay in touch with what they're doing. We will also be pushing what these guys get up to over here on the Fuse channels as well. And I'm sure we're going to speak again because, yeah, I want to see how things progress with you guys, and we'll have another chat in the future, I think, as well. So, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate it. And for everybody watching, as I say, the video is available forever. So if you have any questions, and all the links will be there at the bottom as well. So you will be able to find everything you need. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate that. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.